$1.3 billion. This proposed withdrawal would reduce that by about 30-some%. And then you add back the interest, so the balance at the end of June 30, 2008 would be $936 million. Then we have to start all over again, rebuilding it, capturing their interest, and what have you. If you look at handout number 5, I want to talk to you a little bit about where we were in 2002 and 2001, because it was a different environment. And I went back and looked at the scenario that we had at that time, and Governor Warner made a very meaningful presentation to the money committees into his term. And this is what he said. In the first 23 months of this administration, we have worked to restore the fiscal integrity of Virginia, to make government more efficient, and to promote new economic opportunities for our people. We have faced a continuing series of natural disasters, from droughts to floods to a major hurricane. And to go on and quote, he says, even last week, an earthquake. I'd forgotten that, but we did have an earthquake. Throughout all of these challenges, we've tried to put partisanship aside for the good of Virginia, and working together, we have made substantial progress. We addressed a $6 billion budget shortfall, the most serious fiscal crisis facing Virginia in the last 2 decades. Our first response was to cut spending and shrink the size of government, eliminating more than 50 agencies, boards, and commissions. And we reduced the budget of most state agencies by 20% and reduced the size of the workforce by almost 5,000. And he went on, but suffices to say, those were much tougher times than we find ourselves in now. The growth in revenues that we had as projected in 2009 and 10, and in fact 8 as revised by the governor, albeit small, were positive. But if you look at the chart on page 5, you will see in 2002 we actually had negative growth. We did not have any new revenues. And then finally, in the final handout I'll call your attention to is numbered 6. And you will see only in 2 years since 1961 have we had negative income growth. A modest negative in 1991, a significant negative in 2002, and that's when we withdrew from the rainy day fund. So I ask each one of you whether or not we have reached the same state of emergency in 2008 and 2009 that we reached in those years. I ask each of you if our plight is so dire, or our financial ship so rocky, that we need to go this far into the rainy day fund. This is our very last well, very last reservoir of comfort that we might have in terms of further financial downfalls. Should we take that proverbial $20 out of our wallet and spend it in this budget? Have we exhausted every option? If I were convinced that the answers to these questions were yes, that is, we have exhausted every option, then I would feel much more comfortable in supporting this amendment. Most alarmingly, Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, my figures show that if we withdraw this amount, there will be no other available withdrawals until after the year 2012. So it looks good on this chart to show that we have a remaining rainy day fund of about $1 billion, but that $1 billion will not be available to prop up our revenues if, as we have suggested, 2009 and 2010 are aggressive in their estimates. So, Mr. President, I just wanted to call to the attention of the members, respectfully and sincerely, that I have genuine concerns about utilizing the entirety of this fund as we deliberate the budget today. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Senator from Spotsylvania, Senator Houck.
Thank you, Mr. President. I hope the members